And consequently, if you're buying the vehicle for your personal use, by law, you are referred to as an operator of a vehicle. However, if you're going to use the wheels, truck, motorcycle, bicycle, whatever it is, if you're going to use the wheels to make money, now you're in business. Now that you're in business, we're talking money now, so therefore you got to have a business license to conduct business with the wheels. And according to the law, if you're conducting business, you are now no longer referred to as a operator of a vehicle. You are now called a driver, a truck driver, a cab driver, a bus driver. Driver means you're in business to make money. Operator means you own it yourself. So why the hell do you need a driver's license if you're not making money with the wheels? You don't. It's just that nobody ever told you that. So when you walk in and say, I want a driver's license, they figure, well, okay, then you must be using it to make money. They don't know. How many people know these little small things? And when you go to, if a cop pulls you over to arrest you, and he reads out what he's arresting you for, and he says, do you understand the charge? You know, you see it on these cop shows at night. And they will read out the charge of the poor guy, and they say, all right, here's what you've done wrong, and then do you understand the charge? Why do they say that? It's because if you say to the police, no, I do not understand the charge, they cannot arrest you. The law says you cannot be arrested if you do not understand the charge. So all you got to do is play dumb. I don't understand the charge. And they'll say, well, the law says there's a red light, and if you go through it, you broke the law. We saw you go through the red light, and you broke the law, and that's why we are arresting you or giving you the ticket. Now, do you understand the charge? You say, nope. What is it you don't understand? I don't understand the charge. What is it about? Huh? No, I haven't needed to, because I drive safe and sanely. But I don't have to have 5 children to know what getting married is like, you know. I don't have to do everything so that I can speak from experience. I can speak from experience on much of what I'm telling you. And the other, I can just read like any dope could read a law book. Consequently, I'm saying that we are in the hands, this country is in the hands of traitors, people who are manipulating and using us. And it's being done in such a way that you would never ever suspect how devious this whole system is. Now back to, I only got a few minutes more. According to my calculation, I only got about 10, 15 minutes, right? Huh? Okay. Tomorrow I'm going to have a friend of mine, a partner and a friend of mine named Victor. Vic is a publisher of the book called Cracking the Code. It's a book about have you read it? Seen it? Cracking the Code? Well, and that's my company that published it. And so I'm going to have him explain a little bit about the Uniform Commercial Code and how it affects you. But I also, you are going to hear something that is really, truly startling. Did you know, for instance, that when you get a ticket of any kind, a speeding ticket, that the officer will give you the ticket and say, and he'll sign it, and that you've got 45 days to take care of this, a month and a half? Why? Why did they give you a month and a half? It's because the police know and the system knows. Oh, and that just reminded me. You know where the word system comes from? You've got a judicial system, an educational system, a banking system. The word system is a Latin word. It was a word for the sewer. In Rome, they call it the sewer system. That's what we got here, the sewer system. Anyway, when you get the... what was I talking about? 45 days. The reason why they give you 45 days is because if you go in, it says that you are not agreeing that you are guilty of anything when you sign a ticket. You are usually a month and a half later. Because the law book says if you come in within the first 10 days, there is no charge. No one's ever said you were guilty of anything. There is no charge. You walk in within the first 10 days, and you have a form. There's a couple of forms you fill out, and then they will tell you, well, we can't handle this right now because we don't have your paperwork yet. And you say, of course you don't have my paperwork yet. You want it to go after the 10 days, because after the 10 days, you are now guilty by default. You now are guilty by default because you did not take care of the ticket within the first 10 days. Because if you walk in within the first 10 days, and it's best to bring a witness with you, with the form, and you walk in and say, I want to take care of this. Here I am. It says on or before, so here I am before. I want to take care of this. Now I want you to take this off of my record, get rid of this thing because there's no charges on there. I came in on or before. And they'll say, well, we don't have the paperwork on it yet. You say, well, it's too bad. Here's what the law says. The law says on or before, and I'm in here before. Here is the form. I filled it out saying that I was here. I have a witness that I'm here. I'm giving it to you. And when you walk off, they have to tear the ticket up and throw it away because there was no charge and you came in within the first 10 days and there's no charge and they throw it away. But everybody thinks, oh, well, I got a month and a half, leave it. Good. All you need to do is leave it 11 days, and they've got you now. You lost by default. Say it again? Of course I do. What am I doing? I'm sitting here in front of 100 people talking to myself? Of course. I'm in an office that gets over 100 phone calls a day from all over North America, the Bahamas, all over creation. I personally get 15 to 20 phone calls from all over the world every day. But especially does the company get at least 100 phone calls a day from all over North America, Canada, and people are sending us wires, they're sending us emails, faxes. People are coming by the office 4 or 5 times a day. People are coming from all over the country, coming out to visit. They come by the office. They show us what they did. They sit down and tell us how they did it. Here's what we did. We followed your book. We followed this material you gave us here. And here's what they did. Here's how we saved the house. We saved this. We saved that. Do you realize when you walk into a bank, and you want to borrow money on a new home or a car, you know what happens? This is very interesting. When you walk into a bank and you ask for a loan to buy a house or a new car, what they will do is they first of all check your credit to make sure you can pay for it. Second, if they decide that they will finance the new car for you, they have to have the agency, the new car agency, has to have a form showing exactly what that automobile cost, what it is appraised at, with a state appraisal on that vehicle. This car is worth this much, stamped by the state. This is how much the vehicle is worth. And consequently, they can take that now, because this car is worth, say, $35,000. That's the worth of the car. The state then allows the bank to take this ownership of the car, the paperwork, and put it into a private bank account in your name. They open up a checking account in your name, and they don't tell you that. So they come out with the papers, these chumps, they come out and say, oh, well, here's all the paperwork. We've got it all done. I said, yeah, I'll bet you got it all done. You lousy. I'll bet you've got it all done. Let me read the papers that you've got all done, chump. Then you say, well, here's all the papers. Yeah. Then you find out what they've done is they took the ownership of the vehicle, the amount that the state agrees to that the vehicle is worth, and puts it into a checking account and opens up a checking account and signs your name to it unlawfully. They sign your full name to it. And now you have a second checking account. If you have one at the bank, now you got two. Now the checking account has $35,000 in it. So then they write a check on your checking account for $35,000 and give it to the auto agency to pay for the car, and now they keep the ownership of the car until you pay them that $35,000 with interest. But the point is, they never loaned you a nickel. They took the vehicle, which was worth $35,000, opened up a checking account in your name, unlawfully, illegally. It's a felony to sign another person's name on a checking account, and the banks do it all the time. And now there's $35,000 in there. They type out a check on the new checking account, and you get it,